3, 2. Channing. I was gonna make a funny like Tom Segura style joke, but I don't think it's the right night to do that. So,
no, it's not.
Nope. It is not.
I think I had a couple of good ones going through my mind, but yeah, you're right. Not the right night.
You know what we should do though? Instead, we should use that TikTok of Channing as the intro.
I didn't know if that was going to be the right night to do that or not either. So somebody get that message to Cody. If he wants to join, he's more than welcome. So anyway, I'm recording. This is hot, whatever you want to call it, but we can get into whatever we want to get into, whenever we want to get into it. But because it's not the right night, anyone that is listening after the fact, it's not the right night because we're in the midst of a fucking just a crazy, crazy time in the United States. We're all in different cities. We're talking about these riots, all this shit that's going down. It's pretty fucking nuts.
Yeah, it feels like at minimum this is our Rodney King LA riots.
Minimum.
Maximum, it could be the beginning of a revolution.
Yeah. This is the largest civil rights movement / protest, whatever you want to call it, in the history of the country. So some people are going to be saying this and some people are going to be saying that. It's going to be complete opposite sides of the spectrum and shit. But, like, has America finally woke the fuck up? Like, what is it?
No, I don't. I mean, yes, that part has. But here's the thing that I was thinking about today is, just like a week or two ago when all those folks were protesting at the Capitals and they were armed and shit like that because they wanted to go out back in the public and get their hair cut, their nails done, and all that shit, and like it's okay for them to. Here's where it's not going to get better is because they've got this weird fucked up logic where it's okay for them to do that, but for what's going on now, that's not okay though. They're exercising their rights, but when someone else wants to voice their opinion, that's not right either. And then all of a sudden the All Lives Matter tag starts popping up again after you haven't seen it in 3-4 months.
Right.
Shit like that. It's just that ignorant hypocrisy, and you're not gonna be able to change that until those people are dead and gone, and the younger generation comes in.
Well, I mean, there's a big part of. I think there's a big focus on all the fucking riots and the fires, and we're going to definitely talk about that shit. But, like, there's a whole lot of shit going on where people aren't getting hurt, and there is actual protests, and there's, it's almost like the media is going to use all they can, all the negative they can to make sure that they're not seeing that the peaceful people are getting points across too,
Yeah. There was a peaceful protest in Kansas City, Missouri, which isn't too far from me, and there is even their own cops out there were holding up signs. I think one said, what'd that one sign say? I want to say it said, "I can't breathe." It was a black cop and a white cop were holding it up. But at the same time, like, how do I know that's not some, like, psyop shit?
Yeah,
They're
right,
trying to
right.
seem like, oh, look, they're doing it too,
Mm-hmm. So
And I just said something in the Rants and Raves group, which, by the way, side note, if those people discovered Twitter and Yelp, that page would not exist.
No.
But some chicks like, yeah, we went and protested, and I feel a lot better because the cops were respectful and they gave me some water. And I was like, bitch, is all it took for you to end the revolution some Zephyr Hills?
I think that's what bothers me, and sure enough, a lot of people like me, that is that, like, those are the people that are going home and bragging about making a difference.
It's a virtue signal.
Right. And that's everybody. You need every team member you can have, every soldier, right? And that makes sense, but oof.
Listen, man, I'm not going to talk about my job on here, but, I'm in a leadership position and I build teams, like, consistently in multiple and large groups too. You can't have all leaders. You can't.
Right.
It's a problem. You got to have, I'll use restaurants because that's what I'm in. But in that situation, you got to have a general manager, you got to have a bar manager, you got to have a kitchen manager, you got to have a dishwasher. And you can't get mad at that dishwasher for wanting to be a dishwasher. So good on that girl for going out. Don't think that fucking because you talked to cops one time. Because those cops, and we can talk about it because it's Camden. Like, nobody has still came out and been against that Zach guy that shot Tony Green.
Yep.
Not his apartment. There's not been an apology. There hasn't been shit. And they murdered a black guy in Kingsland.
Yeah, that's crazy. And, well, he was charged with violation oath of office.
Yeah.
So whatever we say or do, the justice system has said that he didn't murder the guy, right? He violated his oath. So,
which by definition you would think means that he should have got the other charge, which was manslaughter.
Right.
Because manslaughter is just you did something so reckless that you killed someone. That's all it means.
7 months in jail for that, and people go to fucking. And let's just say it, black men all over this country, a lot of young, dumb, poor white folk too, because essentially that's what they're going for, is people that are getting caught in streets and communities where they're not able to get out and make a living or make opportunities or grab opportunities. So it's like they're going to jail for 2-3 years for pot. But this guy gets 7 months in jail, and that's it.
For shooting a guy that was running, because he was too lazy to run.
Yeah. Yeah, too lazy to run. Took the easy route.
And so now we get on to today, and well, what's been going on out of Minneapolis, and that's kind of what my theory is, because I live down in Camden County, Georgia, like South Georgia, outside of Jacksonville, Florida. You got Joel from Atlanta, Channing is in Tulsa, Oklahoma. So I'm real close to that Ahmaud Arbery case that's been going on, the McMichael stuff. And, like, that shit was really pushing people, right? Like, a lot of motherfuckers were just like, shit. Like, that's crazy. That's, like, lynching, modern-day lynching kind of shit. And there's this whole, like, the good old boy system, the good old boy system, the good old boy system, right? Well, Minneapolis ain't good old boy system. Like, Minneapolis is fucking a hub of that whole area of the country. Like, that's so for it to happen there, I think that was the last fucking straw, as we're seeing.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
you can't sweep that under the rug, you know.
No, and I think that the invention of smartphones changed shit. I think what's the problem now is there's slowly been you can't say it's not better. It's silly to say
without a doubt
racism hasn't gotten better.
And I know that we're 3 fucking white kids sitting here saying that. Well, how fucking easy is it for us to say it?
Sure, but
you are right, 100% right, Joel.
It's gotten better. The problem is, the big problem is actually, I think, is education. I think and you guys went to the same school as I did. What did you get taught in 2nd grade, right? 1965, civil rights, bills got passed, blah, 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 blah.
I have a dream speech.
And racism ended. And now here we are. And in February, we have this. So what happens is you have people that live in, like, let's say, I'll call them out their fucking city, fucking Browntown, Waverly, all those fucking hicks out there to be local to you. Mm-hmm. Or, I'll use some dumb town in Texas.
The wild, wonderful whites of West Virginia, like places
West
like that.
Virginia is a great place where they don't have black people.
Right.
And so they don't understand. Like, they were taught and told and believed, because they were fucking 7, that racism was cured. And then they're like, why are they fucking bitching? What are they bitching about? I thought everything's fine. And so it really is ignorance in the real meaning of the word that they just don't know. And I think the reason I say the smartphone thing is because it does show. And I think and it should have happened years ago with Eric Garner and Philip Castillo. So many people that have been caught on tape
Yeah.
But this one, it was like, all right, here's 7 minutes of him having the opportunity to do it.
Between 7 and 9 minutes.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Between 7 and 9 minutes, and let's just talk, like, now, you know, we're rolling now, right? The guy was yelling for his mother. I mean, it's fucking heartbreaking. I don't care who you are.
Yep.
When all right, before I take the little easy way, I don't care if it's black or white or whatever, right? It's someone begging, like, crying for their mom. Like, that's fucking just crazy, man. That you're in a vulnerable fucking place when that's going down. And that's the thing too. We watched it over and over and over. It made people angry. Like, I don't know. They were hiding shit like in 9/11, right? Hiding images. There's plenty that we still haven't seen, right? They just didn't show on TV because it would have pissed us off. But I don't know. Like, there you go. Smartphones, man. Like, people had it. It's the same with that Ahmaud Arbery video. It went viral, and it pissed people off very quickly. It was everywhere.
One of the terrible things too is that you can't police officer, and he's got his knee in this dude's neck, choking him out. He's dying. You can't exactly bum rush that cop. It's the right thing to do. That dude, he's killing that man without any kind of trial, nothing. He's just the judge, jury, and executioner. And what's the 7, 8, 9 people supposed to do? Bum rush him? You think that those two cops would have shot every single person that tried to intervene?
Bang.
We're so engraved that there's nothing you can do because everyone has seen time and time again that the cops get away with everything. And I hate that shit that people say all cops aren't bad. No, all cops are bad because the good ones let the bad guys do that shit. That Asian cop sitting there watching him for 7 to 9 minutes put his knee in that motherfucker's neck. Like, he just stood there. He could have easily said, hey, we can't do that. He just let him do that. That's the worst fucking part.
No, you're 100% right. And that is like the solution is really like, I don't know if you make it a law. I don't know if you mandate it, but like police officers sign something. Right now, if I'm Donald Trump, I put something out that says police officers are required to sign an oath right now that they will take into custody another officer that they suspect acted in malintent like that.
But they already do, don't they? I mean, so to speak.
It needs to be enforced, man.
Right.
There was
that's what I'm saying. Like, where does it end? Like, where does it stop? I'll tell you exactly where it begins. And this shouldn't have anything to do with what we're actually talking about, but it has everything to do with it. And James Tiley was the one talking about it to me originally, man. Like, he made up some great points. These guys are going home, and if the washer breaks or the couch breaks or whatever, they can't really necessarily afford a new one. You know, they're fighting, they're struggling, they're getting paid jack shit to deal with all this and having to do everything correctly. Then, of course, anytime it's just a little bit of, if I just shut up and maybe advance in my fucking career, you're going to do it. And you're going to do that at Burger King. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I'm not saying that's a fucking issue, like problem solved, but it's definitely got to begin with there. We've got to find some money.
It ties in together, right? Like so there's the income inequality that happens in America, which,
right.
You know, just watch 10 seconds of any Bernie Sanders thing. He covers it. But, you know, back to what I was saying earlier about we were taught in 1965, racism ended. And then those police officers live separately from black people. They don't live in black neighborhoods.
Right.
So when they see a black guy, because they're then taught by the other people, these people are bad, or these people loot, or they commit crimes at a higher rate, or whatever it is they're taught. They, like, that guy assumed Eric Garner, or no, I keep saying Eric Garner because he was the other guy that was choked out by a cop.
What about George Floyd?
George Floyd, he just assumed, well, special circumstance there because they worked together. But they just assumed, like, this guy's writing a bad check, which I really want to know the details of that bad, quote unquote.
Yeah, like, that's the thing too. Like, And
He's
I
a
guess we can
criminal.
screen share if you want, but it's like he was unarmed either way, and I don't even know what the fuck it was going on. And of course I've read it, and like you said, the bad fucking the guy was unarmed. Like, you could have put him in cuffs and threw him in a fucking car.
He was
could have
already in
used
cuffs.
excessive force. Well, I'm saying you could have used a little excessive force and got him in the back of the car and said,
And
fuck.
you might not have seen this, but about 2 hours ago, this journalist guy that I follow because he's always breaking shit first, a guy named Sean King. Do y'all know who that is?
Yeah. He's always first one, yeah.
He's like probably the leading journalist of Black Lives Matter. Really great. He shared a video of where they had him in a car, and then they took him out of the car, and then while he was in handcuffs, and then the guy kneeled on his neck. It's like, dude, I'm not saying I would have rather seen him tasered.
Right.
Or pepper spray.
That's the whole point behind having the taser and the pepper spray is it's a less lethal method. And that's the problem is that dude, cops
he shouldn't have been.
escalating things.
He still shouldn't have been tasered or pepper sprayed.
They stick their nose to where it shouldn't be. They try to play detective and figure out what's going on. No,
right.
They called you for something. Take him down to the station. Ask him questions there. You don't gotta
go be a detective.
You don't have to torture him on the side of the street. Like I can't stand that.
It was a $5 pack of cigarettes with a $20 counterfeit note. So, and again, we don't even know if the guy was guilty because he never got a trial.
Was it even fake?
Exactly.
Like
at this point, it absolutely is, right? But who the fuck knows?
I have gotten fake $20 bills.
Right.
Like handling money, it happens to me probably once every 3 months.
It happens. Again, who knew if it was him? He was identified. That's who did it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He never got a fucking trial.
No one deserves to die over something like that, like over a fake 20 or a fucking selling a pack of cigarettes, on a sidewalk in New York City. Like all these other instances, like, dude, no one deserves to die for that shit. Even if you're running from the cops, you still don't deserve to, unless you're armed and you're a threat, maybe. But still, if you're just running, there's too much excessive force. And honestly, a lot of times I see comparisons between how the police act and how the military acts. Like we're all the enemy. Like every person they fucking pull over is you can compare it to soldiers in Iraq. Everyone's a potential terrorist. It's the same fucking mentality.
Well, a lot of times it's the same people too. That's part of the problem. You should not be. I know those guys that come back and they're veterans, and look, I get what they do for our country. I think a lot of times you get these guys that come back and they're just not the same. Wasn't the Kingsland cop? Wasn't he a vet?
Yep.
Yeah, and he went over there and probably saw some kid blow someone up, and then someone runs away from him and he freaks out.
Yeah. And that's sad too. I mean,
and that's part of a systematic problem, which is something that no one's willing to admit, is that there's systematic problems in place. Just because you got rid of Jim Crow laws 55 years ago doesn't mean shit's fixed. People still live, majorly segregated. Camden County, I keep referencing it because we all grew up there, but there's a place called Cross the Tracks, and that means where the black people live.
Yeah. I mean, that's fact. And it's what helps us. I didn't know that was him or not. So what happens is what helps us a little bit to understand, and let's just say gives us a little bit of a voice, is that, you said it, it's where the black people live. But it's also not.
You just muted us.
No, everybody should be good now.
I can hear everybody.
Can't see you, Cody.
Well, fuck.
I got him. I got you. So I think what helps us is there's not a huge income gap in Camden County. So that kind of helps a bit. It's not like, they cross the tracks and they become poor.
Right.
Because, I mean, I'm not fucking, it's not like that here where it is in some of these bigger cities. They've
Atlanta.
created places like College Park and things like that. And they're calling them other cities to keep the riffraff out of Atlanta.
Gentrification.
Right. So that's not happening as bad as much as you think down here in the South. But, like, as regards to, like, the Ahmaud Arbery case, like, Glynn County's definitely got that with the islands and all that. So there is a big income drop off there.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I'm not saying that I've got every right to talk about anything here, but I am saying, like, that helps us here to be a little more peaceful, which is why I forget his goddamn name.
There's definitely a sense of Tony Green.
Rock does. I remember Tony's name. I don't remember Zach Presley.
Zach fucking murderer. Zach Presley is his name, but also murderer.
So that Rock does, man. But like you said, no apologies, nothing like that. No public statements. Really, to just
like the mayor.
They decriminalized weed in Kingsland.
That's I guess a step.
Great move.
But the police chief of
keeps
Atlanta,
everybody shut up.
The police chief of Atlanta today was like, "Listen, we saw the video in Minneapolis. That was a murder. Let's call it what it is." Like, quote, that was a murder. And then she's like,
"Keep your
but
asses
y'all can't burn down our
home.
fucking city.
Yeah,
putting on a curfew.
Your asses at home.
Go home." That's completely fair, and that's honestly what people want to hear. Is just that.
Yeah, say it.
Acknowledge it. Acknowledge it. The Kingsland Police Department needs to acknowledge that Tony Green should have died. Fucking Brunswick should acknowledge it. Minneapolis acknowledged it.
Holy shit, is that Channing?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
With his,
you look good, bro. Real good.
See, he's flexing on us with the AR-15.
Thanks, dude.
You see the AR in the background, Coach, just chilling.
I do not.
He's flexing on us. He's about to tell us about how all lives matter in a second.
No.
Well, don't they think that, man? A lot of people think if you aren't racist, if you're taking the side of I don't know, the protesters here at all, you ain't armed.
Yeah.
Yeah, for some reason, Billy Bob thinks they stopped making the guns when they bought theirs.
Yeah.
Right. It's like, there's no way.
Motherfucker, yeah.
Well,
hey,
that's
man.
like in Texas, man. There's a lot of Democrats there, and, dude, their Texas is shit, and they own guns and stuff like that. But, like, I hear it at work all the time because I live in Oklahoma. I work a blue-collar job. There's a lot of, Republicans where I work, and I hear all the time, like, dirty liberal, gun-hating liberal, da-da-da. I'm a little liberal, but I own guns. I was like, what's that? I don't like all that divisive shit, and that's why where we're at now.
So I'm watching, just to update you guys, I keep looking up at my screen. I've got CNN on, and LA is on fire and getting fucked up, and Philadelphia is getting real fucked up.
All right, so
let's burn all that shit down.
Let's do that just for the interest of the show real quick, because Cody's gonna have sounds like a little bit of a different opinion for a minute. So just real quick,
anarchist, which I guess Channing and I are too.
Yeah.
What's the point? I mean, here's the thing. Everybody talks about, especially on my timeline and everything. All I'm seeing in the news is, peaceful protests, stuff like that. Motherfucker, what you think been doing? Like, they tried to kneel. They tried walking with signs.
Yeah.
Even hey, we send our prayers and love. Motherfucker, you a Care Bear? Like, that shit don't work.
So just to kind of update us on each city that we're in, right? We'll take a couple minutes to just kind of do that for everybody, right? So I'm in Jacksonville, so to speak. My town, little country town, got about 6 protesters at Kingsland Police Department. But Jacksonville, a cop got slashed in the neck. He's in the hospital.
Yep.
And then they have blocked access to downtown through the highway. You can't get to downtown anymore. They've shut it down. I don't know if anything else is going on anywhere else, but you can't get to downtown Jacks. but nothing. I mean, I know there's a guy in the hospital, but like nothing real. You ever heard of nothing fires or nothing like that?
That's
Yeah.
right.
Here, earlier today, it's like 1, 2 o'clock. They had a protest and they got on the highway and blocked both lanes of traffic for maybe like 30 minutes or so, and then they dispersed and they walked around a little bit more, and that was that. And I think there's gonna be another one tomorrow, but so far here in Tulsa, it hasn't been very not as violent as other cities.
What's the
I think one of
numbers
the
like?
protesters got well, I drove I went to actually pick up this couch today, and I knew that they're having a protest, and a cop
Damn it, Channing.
Come out.
pulled up, but
Can we
What?
acknowledge that Channing is sitting in his fucking closet talking to us?
Yeah. Well, he's trying to talk, but Zoom ain't working very well for him.
Channing,
Because
are
he's
you
sitting in
fucking
a
Harry
closet in
Potter,
the back
bro?
of the house.
is it cutting out?
Yeah.
It's better every once in a while. It's good.
Are you on the
No,
Wi-Fi,
uh,
Channing?
Is he
Yeah,
in
I'm on the
trouble?
Wi-Fi.
Like,
No, dude.
Did-
My
are you in?
mom's here.
Did she
So
put you
Mom
in the
said-
closet? Oh, okay.
My mom's here. But Tulsa, so far, it's quiet. So
Now, did I just hear shit outside of your house or your window, Joel?
No, that's not me.
That must be fucking Cody in China.
Yeah, Cody lives in China. So it's just
Trust
traffic.
me. Yeah, it's world news. I mean, America is in the spotlight between the
COVID.
virus and then this.
All right, well, let me talk about
you-
Atlanta, and then Cody, I'd like you to tell us what they think about us there. I live in Buckhead, and last night I stayed up till like 4 a.m. because the police helicopters were shaking my apartment, and they
That's
were
insane.
yeah, it was wild, dude. It was wild. They weren't like super close, but it was like close enough where you feel vibrations.
You're just hearing
sirens
sirens and shit.
Because I live next to Lenox Mall and Lenox and what's the other one? Phipps Plaza. And they took that shit out. It's out of commission. So I drove through there this morning because that's how I have to go to work. And also because it's 2 minutes, 2-minute drive, half a mile away. And
like fire and shit.
there was no fire or anything left. There was still police though. There's still people like, I guess they were worried about people coming back. LA is now on fire.
This is insanity.
Philadelphia is on fire. Yeah, I mean they burnt down a restaurant. They burned down a restaurant. I guess going after Lenox is really an interesting statement, even though it wasn't meant as a statement. I think it's really important to say this about Atlanta. There was probably 200 or 300 people that caused all that damage, including at CNN. Well, it was 50-50, white and black. And I don't, from the arrests that were made, which was only like 6 people, and they were given really clear lines. One of the kids that was arrested, you could see it on CNN. They were like, "Don't come in here," and he walked in there. I mean, they had to arrest him. He was trespassing at that point, and
Well, I mean, cops have pretty clear lines on not to kill unarmed people too. I just
That's
want
true.
that to be
That's true. But you know, I really do feel for the Atlanta police. I think that we've been talking about the police the whole
There's a
time.
lot of black men in the Atlanta Police Department.
Atlanta is the highest percentage of black people, black men on the police force. It was a 50-50 mixed race people. There's a viral
men. There's a lot
video
of black women as well. Sorry, like a lot of black folk in the Atlanta police force.
A black lady. And luckily they didn't head to the part of town that was black-owned businesses. That would have been really unfortunate.
Right, that would have been fucking terrible.
They hit CNN, and then they hit. I don't think it was intentional or thought out, because I think these people were just fucking from Macon, thinking
yeah.
Go up to the city and ball out and fuck shit up, which 10 years ago, Channing and I probably would have done that.
yeah, for sure.
But they hit like jewelry stores where like the famous artists go to get their shit. So there's a place called Icebox. It's where like Gucci Mane gets his shit made. Gone, done. They hate Gucci, they hate Louis Vuitton, they fucked up Linux, and they fucked up Phipps. Burned down some restaurants. It was just a lot of sirens all night, a lot of police helicopters. And it was crazy. It was surreal to watch, especially with all four of us individually. I've hung out with you guys separately at Centennial Olympic Park, whether it was Michael at Mercedes-Benz or 420 Fest, Channing at 420 Fest, Cody. The two places Cody and I last hung out, which was way too long ago, was the College Football Hall of Fame. We went to a Dos Equis party, and then we walked to that Waffle House that's now viral for the protesters stopping people. It's the last time I saw Cody. So for me, it was really surreal. And then when they tried to light the tabernacle on fire, that really, I teared up.
Yeah. Well, because where do you?
I mean, quite frankly, that Waffle House gave us a shit. I probably would have threw a Molotov in that bitch too. So.
Yeah, Atlanta's crazy, man. I wish they would show it on. It doesn't seem like there's anything going on. I'll check Twitter. But it's just a real experience to like be that close to it, and then like seeing it on the TV, but then also hearing it outside.
Right. At any point,
but also
you and the family,
really
like,
conflicting
scared?
for me. Really conflicting for me because I support
The movement.
I support the movement. I support rioting even. I support I don't support the looting of fucking
Small
I didn't like the
business.
CNN thing. CNN had a black reporter arrested yesterday for being black, and then they attacked CNN. Like that Briarcliff Road is not far. Go fuck up Fox. Like
Right. Fox 5 Atlanta is right on Briarcliff Road.
go fuck that shit up.
Or did you guys in Atlanta? I mean, it seems right now, and knock on wood, and you're obviously closest to the heat. Are y'all scared at all? Does the wife, mention that?
I'm different a little bit. She canceled some plans today because there's a curfew and stuff. But like, I was at work and one of my team members was like, "Yeah, I'm getting off and I'm going down there." And he's a young black kid, and I was like, "Hey, man, don't be on the fucking news. Don't be that guy." Like,
right.
And I was like, I felt like I know I annoyed him because he's 21 and he's a big
He's feeling
moment
powerful
for him.
about this. He's wanting to do it.
Yeah, and he is, but I was like, just don't be a fucking example, man. Like, I like him. He's smart, funny, good-looking kid, and has a big future. He's hardworking. He's a good kid. But I was, hey, man, like, fucking don't be that guy.
Cody, you came in late, man, but we're just gonna let you kind of roll with it. What's your thoughts? Just hit it.
Oh, about everything. Oh, I've already told. Like, burn that motherfucker down. Like, I mean. It's gotten to a point where
burn the black-owned businesses.
Like at this point, what else is there to do? I mean, they protested. I mean, shit, they've been protesting since the 40s, 50s, 60s. Even that picture that they're showing on Facebook of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. walking on the bridge. That's like right before Bloody Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Like later on, dogs and police officers and hoses are turned on them, and they're talking about this is peaceful protesting. This is a crime, and it shows the picture of looting and shit. Like, there's a reason that it's clear that, you know what? Maybe now these racist fucks will be like, damn, maybe we should really rethink how we do things because there's real consequences now. Like, fuck. Like, how long can somebody go unheard and unvalued as a human being before it's like, you know what, fuck this, let's fuck all this shit up, let's flip tables, let's burn shit, let's break glass.
Jesus did.
Yeah, Jesus flips tables. If Jesus flips tables, why are white people flipping out right now?
I mean,
I'm a little on the more pessimistic side because, like you said, maybe the powers that be will be like, oh, maybe we need to change. But honestly, I think in today's climate, I think they're more likely to clamp down even harder. And I really worry about it getting more violent than it is now, especially in the red states. I mean, That's just
Oh,
the
yeah.
way it goes.
If this is any kind of real, right? Like Cody's saying. So I think that's where the line is drawn. Like I think that's why we're having this conversation, right? If this gathers any kind of momentum, like you said, Cody, like, hey, what the fuck else can we do other than let's talk like Killer Mike, like let's organize and mobilize, like let's plan something, right? But if this this does go fresh, right? This goes hard, then it's going to get way more violent. Shit's going to burn to the ground.
Also, that being said, did y'all see Killer Mike's shirt?
I don't remember his shirt.
What, like, kill your master?
Oh, that's funny. His name's Killer Mike. Like
That dude is.
How much credibility do you lose? How many people are not going to listen to him at all because his name's Killer Mike?
No, but you know what I saw was a lot of
thing.
Republicans sharing his shit, being like, "This is how you should be."
Oh,
because they get to dictate. They get to
Yeah.
dictate everyone's behavior.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, nah, it's and you know what? Quite frankly, honestly, talking about like, and I know I said this in a post, but it does. Like, we have to say something. The Black population in America isn't even 14%, while white
Right.
America is 75, 76%, something like that. We have to be the ones that change it. Like, number wise, it can't be done just by them. And I mean, fuck, it's our fault. Like, they're not racist. We are being racist. And when I say we, I mean not like us,
Right,
but
fine.
as a culture, like, we're the ones who are being racist. Like, we shouldn't. There should be no, for what's been going on these past couple months between in Brunswick and now Minneapolis and things. There should be no justification, none whatsoever. If you're justifying what happened, then you're part of the problem. Even with the footage, like, how can you sit here and be like,
people that say that this is my favorite thing. We don't know what happened.
That's the fucking worst one. That's the worst one.
Wait till the whole story comes out.
Yeah, motherfucker,
It doesn't matter what happened. No one deserves to be choked out with someone's knee on your neck, bro. There's
No.
There's nothing that can ever justify that. I don't give a fuck. Nothing can justify
That guy could have got caught raping 3 people, and you're still not allowed to do that. Dylan,
No,
what's his name? Dylan fucking Roof?
Yeah.
The Charleston guy shot up a black church.
Mm-hmm.
walked in,
Got Burger King or some shit.
Got Burger King on the fucking way to the jail.
Am I right? Is that the motherfucker that got the Burger King?
It is. That's the Burger King guy.
So this bowl cut motherfucker who planned this shit I'm laughing because I'm uncomfortable with shit talking about it. If that makes sense, I'm uncomfortable that he got Burger King, bro. What a system.
Mm-hmm.
And Cody, you said
people want to.
Yeah,
people want to talk about that.
Press on too. So just in case anyone wanted to fight him.
But somebody will also be like, "Well, he gave himself up without an incident."
Yeah, that dude had handcuffs on. He had fucking handcuffs on.
Yeah, that man had handcuffs on.
Yeah, he gave himself. He had handcuffs on. You can't really fight with fucking your hands handcuffed behind your back.
Or
also, you're allowed to be scared of the cops.
Yeah, fuck yeah, you are.
Yeah,
you fucking should be scared of the cops.
Jenny got so scared one time he passed out.
Yeah, I did. I fucking passed the fuck out and hit my head on a car. Yeah, I was scared.
For weed, we didn't even have.
For weed. Now that I can consume medically, legally in Oklahoma.
I got pulled over
and you know what, man? This is
stop sign recently, and I'm a white kid in a southern little town, and for lack of a better word, I'm a pretty popular, charming guy sometimes when I'm not
you're popular. I don't know if I'd say
but what I'm saying is, like, I was like, I'm a little nervous. And he's like, well, just out of curiosity, what do you got to be nervous about?
You motherfuckers killing people.
You have a fucking I will not say all cops are bad, and I'll defend my right to say that. But I will say that, like, Channing Sears, that we're all the enemy. Like, you can definitely get behind that theory sometimes when they're on the clock, man. It sucks.
Dude,
protecting and
police,
serving is no longer the priority for most.
No,
of
it's
them.
not. It's not serving and protecting. They're systematically
Comply or
oppressing
die.
people of color and poor people, and they use law enforcement to do that. Because I look at all the fucking examples in the last couple of years of rich people doing horrendous shit, and they get fucking a slap on the wrist. And even if they go to jail, it's still the equivalent of a slap on the wrist. Like that that one college lacrosse player. I think it was lacrosse player. And he raped that girl. And he gave him like 3 months.
Brock.
Or something. Yeah,
Brock.
Yeah, that
Swimmer.
fucker.
Brock.
Whatever
Of
he
course
is.
his
The
name's
fuck- he's a
Brock.
fucking dude. Yeah, Brock. And look at that. He got off relatively easy. But like
The judge
always,
didn't want
that
to
shit
ruin his
died out.
life.
Man,
Yeah.
fuck him.
The judge didn't
Yeah.
want to ruin his life.
Quote.
But had he been someone like maybe in the guy's
had he been a
physics
black-
class that got caught with an eighth of pot, bam, no chance of getting some licenses and shit like that. You know what I mean?
No.
It's ridiculous.
It's so. And granted, I mean,
It's happening. It's happening.
we want to say not all cops are bad. However,
Right.
where are these good ones at when this shit's going on?
That's what we
That's-
talked about right before
that's-
you got
That's
on.
what
Right.
I said.
Like that shit bugs the shit out of me.
right.
Like, no, not all cops are bad. Cool. Well, you know what? It looks like there's a lot more bad ones than there are good ones right now.
Right.
And I get
Right.
like the whole media spin and shit, but it's happening. And here's the other issue. We're noticing it now because of cameras.
Yeah.
Like, because people have cell phones. It's not, and so it's not new. It's just now being brought to
But how many
brought to
times does
light.
a cell phone get stuck in a pocket? Because if you're a black man and you don't have your cell phone, you get pulled over and your cell phone's in your pocket where it's supposed to be and it's not up on your dash.
you better
can't
shit
reach for your
yourself.
phone
Yep.
because you're gonna get fucking shot.
Yep.
So you're not recording that altercation where you're getting your fucking ass beat.
Mm-hmm. Yep. You can't because you can't find your phone. Because if you reach for it, you're right.
You're done.
There's going to be a whole lot more happening.
And if you're a cop, if you're a good cop, like we're talking about that supposedly exists, which right now to me is kind of like a good picture of Bigfoot.
I understand the
Um,
anger too.
You should want.
He
you should
certainly
want
exists.
a body cam.
But
Yeah, but you should want a body cam. If you're a cop right now, you're asking for a body cam.
I
And
want
if
to
you
see the
don't want a
body cams
cam,
of fucking
like,
the
why the fuck
Minnesota
not?
guys. Let's see them.
oh yeah,
Yeah. Give me the body cam. You're telling me here's one that we kind of talked about. I mean, bad cops, good cops, whatever. Not one time, I don't know the fucking murderer's name, and I don't want to know it at this just right now. Like, I don't want to glorify that piece of shit, but not once did they go, "Hey, Doug, Doug, come here. That might be a little too much, man." Like, not once, nobody fucking just said that.
4 fucking
That-
cops.
It's
And
got to
out
be
of the
on
4,
somebody's
3
camera, right? Like,
Bro,
somebody's got
They
to be
were all
like, "Hey, I
stand
got
and
out of it."
watch on that shit. If you
Right.
have to stand watch, you shouldn't be doing it.
Shouldn't be doing that. Yeah.
I had people stand watch when I stole cigarettes from a fucking
Snickers bar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's when you have somebody go. If you're distracting the cashier and shit, you're doing something you're not supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
100%.
Sneaking down to the front row. Or,
Yeah, exactly.
Pit
Hey,
seats
Hey,
instead
go
of,
ask them a question so I can go around the back. End.
Right.
Like, fucking
Yeah.
crazy.
So, do we know enough? And maybe I just wanted to get on and try and cover this a little bit, but, excuse me. Do we know enough? Like, who was filming it? Was it on more than one
Names out
camera?
there. The name's out there. I can't
There's not-
remember what it is.
Like, why is this like JFK where it's just one?
There keeps
Well,
being
yeah.
more videos. The people that own the businesses are starting to release them. So the
Yeah,
new one
that's
that
the thing,
came out
like-
like 3 hours ago was the one that they actually
the
had him in
car.
the back of the car, and then
Okay.
somehow he ends up back out. But you can see him
Right,
in the
right.
car, and they're like punching him while he's in the car. The other cops, not the guy that actually knelt on his neck.
Hey, on a side note though, here in China, dude, we got these huge ass adult Capri Suns. Like, they're so fucking delicious. So I don't know if you're looking for sponsors, Mike, but these motherfuckers are refreshing. Hello, Capri
am
Sun.
always looking for sponsors, man.
Donald Trump
I'm
is
nowhere
preventing us
close.
from getting those.
I'm nowhere close
Oh,
enough to have sponsors.
Dude, I have never seen these in America, and they're like, look how you remember the old Capri Suns? Like, they have
Yeah,
those
yeah,
here.
yeah.
But these are like adult packs. Like, they're huge. It's so good.
Hell yeah.
I wish that my kitchen wasn't on the other side of the house. We have slush puppies like that.
Oh, I've had
yeah.
those. Yeah.
$1. The
Worth it.
$1.
Speaking, when I know Joel said Trump, and I know this is completely off topic, the first 10 minutes of Space Force makes it the best series ever.
So I'm excited to watch it.
I am too.
I think
will
these
say
riots
this.
are organized by Hulu to stop Space
Stop
Force from
people
being popular.
watching Netflix Space Force.
Okay.
Um,
We've got to do our part and tweet about it. I've already tweeted about it.
I'll
was
have
like,
to check it
thank
out.
you,
I mean, I
Netflix
want to
and
check
Steve
it out.
Carell. Worth it.
Real quick though, like honestly, it's a problem in this country that the news today and the podcast today, whatever the fuck you want to call it, isn't about the rocket launch, the amazing fucking thing that we're doing, and whatever you want to call it, Space Force. If you want to be a proud fucking on SpaceX and all or Space Force, then go for it. Our space program is awesome, and we're doing it. But we're sitting here talking about riots and race war.
Honestly, who gives a fuck about space when we can't even get shit together on
We
Earth?
can't get shit. That's what I'm saying. We should be celebrating as 2020, and we have all this. We're going to fucking try and meet Martians, and we can't even get along because your hair is a little different than my hair.
Dude, that's what I've been saying about the UFO
they've admitted
videos.
about UFOs. Yeah, exactly.
No one gives a fuck.
UFOs.
No one even cares.
Like, fuck them. We don't even like ourselves.
Bro, they admitted that there's someone that can come over here and fly at a rate that no one's ever seen, without propulsion, without fuel, using anti-gravity. And we're just
can't
like,
be seen on radars and shit.
Can't deal with that.
We're all just like, cool. Talk to me in 10 years. Like after I get a break from this shit.
Can't talk about that. Somebody just got murdered, and also there's a fucking plague.
Yeah.
And you know that maybe that's the thing where it's like, you guys, Independence Day could really happen. It's like, I don't give a fuck anymore. Whatever happens. Yeah. If I see that big ass ship coming out of cloud, it's just like, fuck it, make it quick, bro. Let's get this over with.
Just call Bill Pullman and let me know what the fuck he's doing. Is he dead?
No, Bill Paxton's dead.
Paxton's dead. All right. Bill Pullman's the president from Independence Day, though, right? Eagle One.
Yep.
It's Randy Quaid. Just tell me what Randy Quaid's doing, and we'll figure it out later.
If you're not talking Will Smith, I don't even give a shit anymore.
So here it is. Like it's kind of funny. We get a little off topic, but back on it, like they make all these movies about stopping aliens and world wars and zombies and plagues and deep space Babylon shit, right? Where's the movies about this shit where it's just fucking?
Well, because if this was a movie or a show, if this was a movie or a show, you would sit there and be like, no, this is too stupid. The American people are not like this.
Right.
That's why this has never been made into a movie or a show, because it's like, no, we're not this dumb. We're not this selfish. We would come together as American citizens and we would make this right. But in all actuality, this is the dumbest fucking script ever written. And if this was a show, you would stop watching after like 3 episodes.
There's more people
it's like,
outraged at Costco for making people wear masks than they are
about
Mr. Floyd,
innocent people.
Body is
killed.
being autopsied right now. Yeah. So
I'm convinced that in 2012, when that
Mayan shit
was that we accidentally slipped into an alternate. We slipped into an alternate universe because everything is so fucked up right now.
You opened that sentence with "I'm convinced," so
I am convinced. It's
that's
like
legitimate.
every year, and honestly, it's happened a lot since the last election. But every year, it just gets worse and worse. There's just something always fucking going on.
Oh, this
2020 is what 2012 wanted to be.
That's exactly right.
That's exactly
If this shit had happened in March 2013, then everyone would be like, "Yep, mines are right." You would have seen looting every day. You would have seen people killing themselves at a huge rate. Like, if they'd have pulled this gun and this card, and God had pulled this card in 2013, it would have been nuts. So you're right, Cody. As funny as it is, like this is everything 2012 wanted to be.
It's crazy, dude. And it's the people. I don't know, man. Look, every time this happens, it takes big steps. So the question becomes, and really it is, I think, and we've talked about it a little bit in our group chat, but the question really is now, what do we do to take active steps? Like what, and by we, I mean white, straight men.
Yeah. Because
no, you're right. You're absolutely right.
We're the leaders, right? That we're the ones everyone looks to for fucking guidance. Why? I don't know, because we're not doing it right.
No, that's the thing. Like we have to. It's not for guidance. It has to be us because
it's got
of the
to
numbers.
Be a Trump that says it. Yeah.
The numbers. We have the numbers.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
We have the numbers to make a difference and make a step in a right direction.
Yeah, I think black people are 18% of the population.
It's like 12.5.
14%. Yeah.
14.
They're not. Yeah, they're not. And the only reason I know is because I looked that shit up the other day doing that YouTube video.
Yeah.
Like
I lost a bet recently. Like someone was like, what do you think? And I'm like, okay, 30. No. You know, I know it wasn't half. You know, I couldn't be that oblivious. But I'm like, okay, like 25, 30. It's half than that. Half of that. So
we have to be an ally. And it really does start by, and if you think about it, this is kind of like it's a little bit part of the problem, but also at least we're talking about it. But we have 4 white straight men on a podcast right now talking about race issues.
Yeah,
and talking about rights.
We have zero fucking right.
Talking about a situation that we will never experience, that we will never experience. However, we have an understanding. We have a small understanding that it's like, hey, we see that this is fucked up and it's not right. Like this is not right at all. Like what you're doing is wrong and it should be called out and it should be fixed and corrected on the spot.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was going to say. Is that I think that now the place. I don't think it's bad that we're having this conversation. I think the fact is, I think that we need all organizations, including like Black Lives Matter, would say something like, "Hey, man, like it's almost like it's none of your business." Not all of them, but some of the more radical factions of Black Lives Matter. But that's not true. It's important that we do have these conversations because we do have the obligation.
Nothing matters if all we do is have this conversation.
Exactly. So you have to actively call people out, man. If somebody says some stupid shit, the next guy that's like, well, we don't know all the facts. We saw someone die on camera, you dumb fuck. And cut them out your life.
Like, no fucking arguing. No, like, you dumb fuck. Bung.
Yeah. Just dumb. You can't fucking get in a back and forth with these people. But it's over. Like, you can't talk about it anymore.
It's 9/11 kind of shit. Like, we saw it happen. It was right there on camera. It happened. 9/11, same thing. Conspiracies, whatever. False flag, whatever.
9/11 moved us to go to war and lose more people in that war than we did in the event. So what the fuck are we going to do now that we're seeing black people die? Black men die. Not black men. Breonna Taylor, fucking in her house. EMT worker fighting fucking the front lines in a major city.
Fuck, man. It's just chills. You know what I mean? It's eerie chills.
They're being murdered. Like, that's another thing. We have to stop saying
they arrested him. They arrested her husband.
Murdered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cody, that's a great point, man. It's not
like they're dying of
that's going to offend a lot of people, but I want you to repeat it, or I want to say it louder. Like, stop saying dying.
They're being murdered.
They're being murdered.
They are being murdered. And the murderers are walking around like nothing happened. And I don't give a shit about their fit. Like, motherfucker, you know what you did wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there should be no like, oh, well, you know, he's got to live with it and all that shit. No, fuck that. And then, like, nah, like, it's just.
We have to be active allies. We have to be active allies. If you see someone. See something, say something, but it's way more deep than that. If you see something,
and it doesn't even fucking matter. Friends, family, coworker.
Nah.
Like, fuck it, make it feel awkward. They should feel awkward.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
If you feel awkward having that conversation, then at least you're possibly showing the point of view of like, look, this is why you should feel awkward.
Right.
It's good to feel awkward because that means that you have the moral compass to acknowledge the situation.
You can grow.
then exactly. I don't want anyone listening to think that we're roasting them for feeling awkward. You're right, guys. That's what I just want to, like, that's the point that you're trying to make. I just want to explain it to the dummies listening, right? Like, my
All the
fans are all
listeners.
dumb.
Dumb as fuck.
Especially mine. So
Quote from Michael Byrne.
if you're feeling awkward and you're like, you're right. Something's clicking. The wheel's spinning.
It's good. That's growth.
If you're feeling awkward and going, then listen. If you stop listening to me right now, fuck off and stop listening. I don't want you as a fan. I don't want you as a person. And stop
contributing to society. Because guess what, man?
Yeah,
if you're
shoot
racist,
yourself.
If you're racist, you don't get to go to the Jaguars game because we'll beat you fucking half. If you're racist, you don't get to go to fucking Mardi Gras or any of that shit. We don't want to see.
If you're racist, you better not fucking be celebrating Taco Tuesday. I will fucking knock that margarita out your hand so quick. Fuck all that shit. Fuck the nachos.
So here's, man, we're not gonna solve the fucking world's problems tonight, and we know that. But
here's the thing,
Cody,
man,
you're a big guy that can slap margaritas out of people's face, and you can call people out with no real huge consequences unless I got an AR-15 in my closet.
Yeah.
But no, see, here's the thing.
I might get my shit beat.
I think more people are. I think they want to do it, but they think just kind of like how you're saying.
Right.
And here's the thing: the second you say something, I bet you have 10 people behind you that will back your shit up. And it's like, nah. He's right. You're fucking wrong, and you need to change your way, apologize, and get the fuck out.
Yeah.
Like I think there's a lot of like displacement.
Takes that one little rock
of us. Like we'll hear it or see it, and we're like, you know what? Somebody else will say something that's not my place. When in all actuality, it is our place because we know
to be our place.
There's a difference when we say something. It
shouldn't be our place, but it has to be our place.
Yeah,
it has to be someone's place, or it's going to continue happening. And if you don't say something, and like you say, be the catalyst for the room of people to be like, hey man, no, you're not cool. Maybe you're not comfortable with that. You can also do this really crazy thing. It's called getting up and fucking leaving.
Joel,
if you're at a business and they do some racist shit, I'd like a refund and I'd like to get the fuck out.
Fuck your refund. Yeah. Joel, you said it earlier. Not everyone can be leaders. And we were talking about work and just in general. Had nothing really – well, it did have to do with this, but it's all metaphorical. And, Cody, what you're saying, what you're calling for is – I'm not saying it's unfair. You're calling for everyone to be leaders, and they need to step up.
I'm just calling for
I guess what you're saying is – right. But I guess
that's what we need.
Full circle is what we're saying is – even if you're not a leader, listen to what Cody said is if someone does step up, have their fucking back.
Yeah.
You don't have to lead, but if you're in the action, if you're in the around and see that action, then step with them. Get their fucking back. Make sure I don't get my ass beat for saying it. You know what I mean? Now, that being said, this is dark shit, guys, like real dark. And we can discuss the point, right? You're going to have to put people like us, white, straight, whatever, are going to have to put themselves in a position like black men have been having to do just for being black for a long time. We're going to have to step up and say things that may risk our lives.
No.
I'm throwing it out there.
I do not think we can ever be put in a position that's even remotely
I'm not saying that. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying like Mississippi burning kind of shit. I'm saying like livelihood. Sure. I'm saying if we're saying it and you're around the right fucking group of, let's say, cops, that's what we're talking about tonight, and there ain't nobody around, hey, they're going to shut me the fuck up because I do have more influence outside of that little fucking incident.
But here's the thing, Mike. I bet you no matter what, the thought of us not making it home would still not be an issue in that situation.
Right.
That's gonna be the biggest thing. And that's one thing, like you're right. There may be like situations that'll be a little bit more hostile because of what we say. Mm-hmm. But no matter what, we still have a better shot at making it home. we could walk up to the police and just be like, man, fuck the police.
Right. And I'm not disagreeing that, but if we're making changes that we're trying to implement right now.
It could be hostile.
Right.
And it most likely will be. However, that's the one thing that we have to remember, and why it's such a big difference is, you know, we still have a higher percent of chance of making it home to our families than if somebody of color was to do it. I mean,
we have a higher percentage chance of making it home to our families if we are both at the same bar and we both take and I just say, I always relate to a bar because I'm a drunk and a lot of people that listen to me like that.
JC's in the waiting room.
All right, I'll try and get him in just a minute. But if we take the same distance home to the same suburb and we're just walking alone, you know, I understand, and most people, at least that I'm wanting to listen to me, understand that is unfair and it's just happening. But I think the point I was trying to make is not defending the fact that we are I'm just saying if we're going to make these little bit of changes, then we're going to have to be prepared for that hostility at least. Mm-hmm. You're right, Cody. We're not going to we don't have to be prepared to maybe get shot or, you know, asphyxiated, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, we're
going to have to do that. Or spend 2 nights in jail because we were insubordinate. And, you know, blemish our records and things like that. You know?
I think everybody on here's got a record, right?
But you know what I'm saying? Like, if I want to do something like, let's say I want to be a cop. Let's say I figure out that that's the solution. People like me, if they're going to, you know, give me a way to support my family and I can make a change through there, let them say I'll do it. Oh, guess what? You can't because you stood up to a cop one time that was being a dick. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, they're the power, man. They're the power.
That one time you stood up to that cop probably had the possibility of having more of an impact than you joining the force and not moving up in rank because you weren't going to abide by that system.
Sure. And that, in a perfect world, is exactly how we fix this. But it's not a perfect world because
Joel, are you fucking texting while Mike is talking?
What I'm going to do, guys, at this second, before we let JC in, I'm going to stop the recording and then restart it. That way, because I thought we had a good time, but if it keeps going and flowing, it'd be great. But I'm sure he's with, like, Chelsea and his dad and all that stuff. So I don't want to – I'm going to let him back in, but we're going to – or let him in, but we're going to – so for my editing, I know where I stop. Put it that way.
Okay.